let's see what we have done and how we have done that. So we created a new project, we have created a Java project. So, and we have named the project as, let's say now we are automating a Facebook project. So we automated that as a Facebook project. Okay. So, and click on finish. So in the Facebook project, so we have to add the Selenium libraries. So how we have added, so I right clicked new, I went to the build path and then configure build path. And in the configure build path, I've added external jars, and then I've selected the jar file that I wanted to have, and I click on open button and then apply and click on OK button. So that's how I've added the Selenium to this project. Okay. So now the Selenium is added to this project. So once the Selenium is added, I'm right now writing the code for launching the driver. So here I've created a package com.test.selenium and then finish. And then in the com.test.selenium, I've just created a new class. So that is nothing but the test class. Okay. So let's keep as Facebook test. So this is a class where we can write the code. So under the code, if you want to execute, we need to create a main method. I'm directly creating a main method here. Okay. So in the main method, I'm just selecting the main method. So after this, what we have done, we have done we have written code to launch the driver. So if you want to launch Firefox driver, we have seen it that. So let's see how we can launch the Chrome driver. So I'm just copying some code. So if you want to launch any Chrome driver, so first thing that we need to set is, so we are trying to set the path of the Chrome driver. So previously, if we are setting the Firefox, we have given here webdriver.gecko driver, right? So, and then we have given Firefox driver and the path of the Firefox driver. Now, when we are doing it, we are just doing the Chrome driver thing. So here we have to give webdriver.chrome.driver and then the path of the driver. So we have to give the path of the driver. So I've given the Chrome driver path. And then I'm saying WebDriver driver equal to new Chrome driver, and then I'm trying to launch the Chrome now. Instead of Firefox, now we are launching Chrome. Okay, we are launching Chrome here. So, and then after that, I've done driver.quit. So, and this is a function to quit the browser. Okay. So here, what I'm doing, I'm just putting thread.sleep to wait and see if it is opening the browser or not. So here I'm giving 1000 milliseconds. Okay. So this will throw an exception, just adding add throws declaration. So now when we run this, it has to open the Chrome browser. So just quit it. It has to open the Chrome browser. It has to launch the Facebook, wait for a couple of seconds. So let's say 5 seconds and then quit the Chrome browser. So this is the operations that we have to do. So if I just click on run, so what it will do, if we click on OK, so it started the Chrome browser. So it's now launching the Firefox. So it's waiting for 5 seconds. And then after that, it quit the browser. Okay. So this is the operations that we have done. And then after that, so we have done, to find the element. So we said driver dot. So to find the element, we used find element. After that, we are using identifiers. So the identifiers, where we are using the identifiers. So if you go to the Firefox and say facebook.com. So, and if you want an identifier for this, we right click, inspect element with Firebug. So, and then if you see there is an identifier here, we are taking ID or name. The name is nothing but the name here, the name. So, and then other properties. So we are saying driver.findElement. So we are telling by.name. So what is the name? We are picking the name from the HTML file. So the HTML file has the name. So we're picking the name from the HTML file. So and then pasting it here, and then on that we are doing an event that is send keys because it's a text file. After that we are passing the key test name. Okay, so this we are just doing this one now. The same way we can do for multiple elements, and we can start writing the code for the whole browser. So this is thing that we have discussed in the last class. So we have used id, we have used name, we have used class name, so multiple sets. So so we can just find by any of these things. So any questions? Yeah, what is your question, Smriti? Nothing with set properties, right? We have a different like web browser, Gecko browser, Chrome driver, and everything, right? Correct. Whatever we have specified in the this comment. What is this? No, whenever you are specifying the Chrome driver, you have to give the Chrome driver path. If you are giving the Firefox driver, you have to give the Firefox path. Means here it is Gecko driver for Firefox. For Chrome, the same path. Here it's Chrome driver. And then here WebDriver equal to new Chrome driver, not Firefox driver. And then we are launching, and after this the code is same. Okay, this is same for all the browsers. So the launch codes are different. If you want to launch Firefox, here you have to give GECKO, and then yeah, that's and what those are all predefined. Yes, they are all predefined. Yep, you can see in the internet. You can find it anywhere. So you just need to know what key and what value you have to give. This is the path in your system. And then you have to just say Chrome driver, webdriver.chrome.driver, and then this driver, and then this is all preset. Yep. That's what I mean. Last night I was trying. I have given some spelling mistake, so it was not taking it. No, these keys are you have to give exactly the same way. Exact. Oh, okay. Yeah. So and then this is find element is just finding the element with some of the property by dot name, and then you are trying to do a send keys on that. So which is the test name. Okay. Yeah. So there is another way so that we can write. Okay, there is another way that we can do the automation. So for example, we have used Selenium IDE. So the Selenium IDE we have written code, right, and then we have converted that code into the WebDriver code. So let's do the same thing here, and then let's see how we can use that code. Okay, so here we have launched the facebook.com. So IDE is in now recording mode. So this is in recording mode. We have launched the facebook.com. Here I'm giving test name. Here I am giving test last name. Here I am giving email. So here I'm giving re-entering the email. So and then here password, I'm giving test password. So I'm selecting here, I'm selecting the drop downs 17, so 2001 male or female, so selection, and then click on the account. Okay, so it got an error. So now I go here, so I have to remove some of the steps because these are extra steps that is not required. So and then I can just also do the assertions. So select the whole thing and right click and then show all available commands, and you can say assert text ID. So this one. Okay, so now if I go to the Chrome and and okay, let me delete this one here. I'll do it in the last. So just go and delete all the select windows because these are extra. For Facebook I'm getting this thing, so just delete this. Just delete this, all these. Okay, just I've just deleted everything and I went to the last step here and I'm doing the assertion. Just right click and then go and say show all available comments, and I'm doing an assert thing. So now I got all the information that I needed. So just delete this one. So now I'm doing all the operations and I'm just doing the so whatever the things that I wanted to do. Okay, now what I will do, I'll just go to the file and then I'll say export test case as Java testng WebDriver, so I can just convert the code to WebDriver code. So simple thing. So I'm copying that into a test file, save it, and then just replace the file. Okay, close the browser. So you can save or you can just don't save. So you can just click on this one. Yeah, close this and then close this one. So now you open the test folder that we have created. So open with text edit. So now if you see, the whole code got generated. So it got generated, so everything got generated. So we can just copy the code that is required for us from here to here. So this is the code that is required for us. So just copy the code, and then what you can do, you can just paste the code here. So this is the code that we are doing, right? So we can just paste the code here. So now you are not writing any code, just everything whatever we need, it is already there. Okay, so all the code that we need, we got it from there. And you can just add, okay, this is select, we'll discuss what is select. So and then this is assert equals, this is coming uh, from JUnit. So I'll just, for now I'll comment this line because you don't need assert. So we have to add JUnit library for that. So now if you see all the code, so now if you just run the project, so it will run the whole thing and it will open the Firefox, it will add all the stuff. So it will open the Firefox. Now it is adding all the stuff whatever we have done, and then it failed somewhere. It is not finding one element. So it is not finding the September SCP. I don't know if it is small. Just let me check. Okay, month. It is SCPT. Somehow it got missed there. So you see, it is SCPT. So we have to select the exact similar thing. So it is somehow it is SCPT here. It's not SCP. So and then 17 2001. Okay, now let's run again. Just quit this browser and then just run again and click on OK. So it is opening another time the Chrome. I mean the Chrome browser. So it is just entering the values. It got the error. Okay, so you can just, instead of writing the whole code, you can record from the IDE, and also you can just paste it and then you can just run the code, and that will make you easier than instead of writing the code from scratch. Any questions, Shruti? Yeah, exactly. So we did everything manually. Why do manually if you have this type, right? So you can just go and do anything. See, now we have done the recording in Firefox browser, but still we can run it in Chrome driver, because so here the driver can take any form. It can be a Chrome driver, it can be all the drivers, but the driver has common methods. So that methods are get, find element, etc. Right? So basically, so because the methods and everything are same for all the browsers, so you can write code, you can generate the code on Firefox, and you can run it on any other browser. Okay. Okay. So if it is finding one element, sometimes what happens is you cannot find some of the properties. Here we have every property. So sometimes you don't have properties. For example, if I'm automating dice.com, okay, so I'm just removing the facebook.com and the whole thing, and then I'm moving to dice.com. Okay. So one other example. So sometimes what happens, you cannot find elements using one property. Okay. So we have seen the properties, like we are using by.id, so we are using by.name, and then we are using by.class. By.class is nothing but the class name that you see in the XML. If you see here in the in the HTML, so just go to the facebook.com, and if you see it in the HTML, so we have seen three properties: inspect in Firepath. So the ID is ID here. So the name is the name here, and then the class name is, this is the one class name. So but the class name can be sometimes multiple objects will have the same class name. So be careful, use ID and name first, but class name, if you want to use it, be careful. Okay. So now what I'm doing with, I'm automating dice.com. So I'll just go to the dice.com. So here, if I want to automate this one, I want to say inspect element with Firebug. So I have the ID for this one. So search field keyword. So I just copy this, and then I'll say driver dot find element. So we have to find an element. So when I find an element, I have to give what identifier I have to use. So by dot what identifier. So we have to find by. So what is that we are using? ID. So we are using ID. So there are 8 types totally. So you can see all the types. So in this, I'm using ID as the type. Okay. So here ID, I have to give the ID. So command V. So ID on top of that, because it's an input box, I have to do send keys. So I'll do the send keys, and then I am giving tester as the input here. So the tester as the input here. So that is done. So then I have to click on find tech jobs. So if I say inspect element, sorry, so I can also do like this. I can just inspect element. If you see here in the tech, this one, I don't have anything like ID or class, ID or name. I don't have anything. I have only class. Okay. So this class might be repetitive. Sometimes it will find the element, it is not find the element. So what I'm doing, I am trying to find element by using a tag name. Tag name is, so the button is the tag name. For all the buttons, you will have button tag name. For all the input boxes, if you go and inspect, you will have input tag name. For all the advanced link search, if you just go and inspect in Firefox, you will have a tag name. So A is for all the links. Like input is all for inputs. So like that, you have all the buttons. If you have buttons, you have all the buttons. So I'm trying to find with button, but it will not give me a one button, it will give multiple buttons, because it is not one button that it will find, it will find multiple buttons. So how can I find multiple objects of a single type? I can do like this: driver dot, it's find elements. Instead of find element, I'm trying to find elements. So by dot, so what I am using, I'm using a tag name. So I can use a tag name. So now the tag name is, what is the tag name? The tag name is button, correct? The button is the name of the tag. So I'm using button as the tag name, and then dot. So what can so what it will return me is, so what it will return is, it will return list of web elements. So when I'm searching the element web element, so it is giving me list of web elements. So is equal to driver dot find element. So what we are doing, we are, instead of finding one element, we are trying to find multiple elements. So because it doesn't have a class, it doesn't have a name. So okay, so we are trying to find all the elements in that page using a tag name called button. Means we are trying to find all the buttons. So all the buttons are stored in this variable. So using a list format, in the list format, list of web element format, each one is a web element. So we are trying to find all the elements with the button tag, and then we are storing in this list. So after that, what we are doing, we are writing a for loop. It's called for each loop. For each web element, web ele is the variable present in web elements. So if I'm writing a condition here, if web element dot, so there is a thing called get text. Get text is nothing but get the text of the element. So what is the text of this element? Find tech jobs, correct? So this is the tech jobs, find tech jobs. So I'm just copying. If that get text dot contains is string contains. So if this equal to command v find tech jobs, and web element, whatever the web element that you got it dot is displayed is nothing but if it is displayed or not. So you can check it is whether it is displayed or not also. So then you go and do web element dot click. Okay, so what we are trying to find, we don't have anything like, we don't have an id, we don't have anything, we cannot trust class name. So instead of that, I have written a simple logic which can go and find the element with find tech jobs, and then I'm checking whether it is displayed, then go and click on it. So I'm trying to find all the buttons, and I'm going by one by button, checking the button has this content, this text on that find tech jobs, and also I'm checking if it is displayed. If both are true, then I'm going and clicking on that. So instead of find element, I'm using find elements, which will give me collection of elements, list of elements. Any questions? Okay, so we are doing a find elements, which is nothing but collection of elements. Okay, so now if I just now run the code, how many elements I'll get, I can just break this thing, and I can show you how many elements I'm getting when I go and see all the buttons in the page. Now I'm getting all the buttons on the page. It's not one button, it's all the buttons, because I'm using a tag name. So let's go close this and then just wait. Yeah, I'll just change it to, yeah, dice.com. Okay, so now I'm doing dice.com, and then this one, etc. Yeah, good. Okay, so just run this now and click on OK button. So now it is starting the Chrome driver. So it is opening the dice.com. This website will be a little slow. It will take some time to open. So it clicked on the stuff because I did not debug. Okay, let me debug the stuff. Instead of run, you can also debug. Just start debugging the. So let it quit. Okay, it got quit. Let's debug the program. If you debug, it will stop the wherever you want. If you don't debug, then it will continue to the run. Okay, so now it's launching the Chrome driver. So we are just saying yes. You have to switch to the this one. So if you go here, it put the tester and it did not it just did not go to that one. So if you add this one, right click, and if you add to the watch, there is thing called watch. So you can say watch. So if you go to the watch, you can find out how many elements are present. If you see, there are three. So three elements are present. Size is three. So it can have like 0, 1, 2, 3. So four elements are present. It is going one by one. If you check, if you see here, it is going to one by one, and then it is trying to get each button, and then it is trying to click it. Now first button, it did not find the value, so it went to the second button, then it went to the third button, then it went to the now it went to the fourth button. Now it found the button by using the properties. Now if I run, it went and clicked the button. Okay, click the button and it got the thing. So if you don't find something like this, then you can just go and run, and then just do it in a different way when you are not finding it using the property that you need. So here what we are doing, we are using tag name. So the tag name is something which says that you find all the elements with a tag called button or a tag called input box. That is by dot tag name. This is by dot tag name. So if you want to click a link, okay, just let's comment this logic. Okay, let's comment this logic. Okay, here after before even doing this one, just I'm just commenting the logic. So this one I'm just doing a star star, and then star slash. Okay, so I just commented the code. So after before that, now I wanted to go to dice.com. So I wanted to go to dice.com, and then I wanted to just click on the link. Okay, so the link is nothing but the advanced search link. If I want to just click on the link, I'm just going and doing an inspect. So in Chrome, I'm just trying to inspect. In the HTML, I'll find the link. So if I go and see the link, the text that I have is advanced search. So I can just get the text advanced. So instead of doing it here, I'll just do it in Firefox. So I got here, so it has advanced and search in a different span. So let me get this text advanced, and then go to the Eclipse, and then I'll say driver dot find element. I need to find element. It's a link, so I'm using by dot link text. So I'm using the link text, and I'm passing the link text. So the link text is advanced, and then space search. So let's try with this one. And then on the link, I can just do only one operation called click operation. So I'm just trying to go and try to use by dot link text to click on the link. Okay, so this is by dot link text. Okay, so just checking if that property is working. So there are 8 properties. So id, name, class, we have seen the tag name, which will find the multiple objects. This is multiple objects. So the next one that we're seeing is link text, and then we can see partial link text afterwards. So now let's see whether it will work or not. So I'm just running the program, clicking on OK. So now let's go to the Chrome. So it open the dice.com. You just clicked on the advanced search option. Okay, So that's just link text, just to click on the links only. Okay, so I can also use partial link text. One is one of the other option. So instead of link text, I can also use dot. Instead of that, I can use partial link text, and then I can just say, instead of clicking on this one, use only advanced. So that is partial link text. Means partially I'm giving the link text. This is only for links. Okay, these both are only for links. So I'm just taking a partial link text. So now let's run the program. Click on OK button. So now it is going and doing partial link text. If you go and do see this, it just went again to the same thing, but instead of taking the full text, it took the partial link text. Okay, it took the partial link text. So that is the another operator that we can use. So we have used tag name, we have used name, we have used id, we can use link text, we have used the partial link text. For the tag name, it's a multiple objects, so you can get multiple objects for this one, and here also you can get multiple objects. There is a chance of getting multiple objects, many. So because you might have the same class name for multiple objects. So, and then in the same way, you will have multiple objects because same tag name is used for multiple buttons or input, etc. Okay, so based on the tag, so you can have multiple things. So you should use find elements here. Instead of find element, you have to use find elements. If you're using class or tag name, just try to do that, and then you do a check the way that we have done in the previous one. So now, so let's go and see the other two options. So there is something called by.xpath. What is an xpath? And by.css path. Okay, the CSS path. So there are other two options: by.xpath, XML path, and then the cascading style sheet path. Okay, so basically any HTML page, if you see any HTML page, is made up of three things. The one thing that we have is the HTML. So we have HTML, we have then CSS, cascading style sheets, and the other one is JavaScript. So in the HTML will look like this. So HTML, so slash HTML, and then under the HTML we'll have head. So then slash head. So we'll have head here, and then you will have body, and then body. So under that you might have division tags. Division tags are nothing but, so the page can be divided into multiple divisions, so you can have division tags under that. So this is the whole HTML, the format that we are seeing every day, like now, yesterday and today. So whatever we are seeing, you might have a division tag. Here in the division tag, you will have, like, say, button tag. So the button tag, and then ID is equal to something, and then comma name equal to something, etc., etc. So you will have name equal to this, and then you will have slash, you will say button, and then you can have a text, etc., etc. So on this one. Okay, so here you might have the text, so like search. So this is how your HTML looks. Now the HTML path, if I say HTML path here, XPath, or you can say XPath or XML path, whatever we can say, the XPath is nothing but, if I say XPath is nothing but the path from top to till the object. Okay, now here if I want to go to the button, what is the path here? The first one is HTML. Okay, so slash HTML slash, so the path is like this. So HTML slash, so after that I need to go to the body, because under the tag there are head and body, but my button is under body, so I have to go to the body. So body slash my other, under the body I have division tag, so division tag slash button. So this is my HTML path, the whole path from the starting to the till till I reach the object that I need. This is unique, but the problem with this one is, if say developer had added one more division here, okay, so he has added one more division and then close division. Okay, so he has added one more division here. Now every object in the page will change. Why it will change? Now this XPath for all the objects will change to, so division of 2. So because one is already there are under the body we have now two divisions. So this is two divisions, and the division 1 has nothing. In the division 2 I have button. So we have to, now it will, instead of one division it became two division. Now it will become like this, and this will become like division of 1 which has nothing. So it will have nothing, so it doesn't have anything like a button. So now the all the objects that you have used HTML path, you have to change to division 2. So there's a very high chance of failure if you are using XPath. The XPath is nothing but the whole path from the top to till the object, the whole path that you traverse to, in the HTML to find that button is nothing but the XPath. Shruti, any questions? Okay, this is the XPath. Now CSS path is, you will have the class name, right? Class name, you will have some class names defined here. So in the similar fashion, you will have some class names defined here. Class names defined here, and then you will have, similarly, you will have some class names defined here. Here also you'll have class name. This is nothing but styling, okay? So now here I told it's a button. Button is nothing but an object which is like a button, okay? It will tell you this is the type. But CSS will tell you the size, the length, the width, and then it will tell you like the color, etc is driven by CSS. This will say what events you need to do, click event or what event you can do. JavaScript will say that. So now the CSS will, all these things will be under with some name like dd.hh or something like that. This all three properties or four properties or five properties are grouped under one name. So like calls, which is called CSS name. Okay, so now the CSS path is nothing but, so if I have CSS path, so then the first class name here is the first class name here. So first name, the first name is nothing but, so we have for body class name, right? So body, so you have a class name CSS name, and then with the path of division class name, so whatever the div, so we have a div dot css, and then we have button css. So this is the whole path of the CSS. It's the styling path. Okay, one is the object DOM path, document object model, or HTML path. The other one is the styling path. So you can have CSS path and also X path. These two are other options. They are unique. Mostly they doesn't, CSS path can be trustable sometimes, but X path I don't trust, because if you add a simple division, another division here, tomorrow developer comes and add one more division here and changes the structure of the page because he just need to design something else. So everything in your script fails, okay, because this is not trustable. This is, if a small change in the HTML will change all your objects not to be identified. Any object in automation should be identified uniquely, because in the page it cannot say that I cannot see something which is not unique, because if it is not finding unique, it cannot go and work on that object. So if I, sorry, so if I want to do anything on this, say this object, I have to find this object uniquely. Like this object, I have to find this object uniquely. So if I find both with the same class or same thing, what happens is I'll get two objects. I don't know where to do the operation, correct? So that's why each object should have an identifier, or you should find it in different ways which are unique and directly coming here. So for example, if you have a HTML path, if you go to inspect in Firebug, you will have the HTML path. HTML path is nothing but the path that you started from the top, HTML body, then from HTML the body, and then the div. So under the div 2, so there is div 1 here, it is div 2 now, div of 2. So after that you have another div, after that you have another div, after that you have another div, the whole path from top to till you get to the object. So where is the object? The object is somewhere here. The whole path from top to bottom is, the HTML path. It is unique, but if you a small change in the division also makes a lot of difference here. Okay, the same way you can also get CSS path. So by right click, and you can just select the element, and you can get the copy CSS selector. So if you can also copy X path, okay, both using Firebug. But you can mostly I'll try to use ID or or name or tag name, etc., because they are all trustable sources. So but if you go and automate the same page, the dice.com, using IDE, let's see what will happen. So now I'm just using this one. So I'm using tester and clicking on find text jobs. So now I'm going to the IDE. So I've just used this one. So it is taking / button at the rate type something, but it is taking X path. It is not taking anything like buttons, or it is not using tag name. It is using X path. But if that X path changes, then there is a high possibility of failure, because again it is taking 2 as the variable. It might be changing to 3 or 4. So that's why sometimes you need to use standard methods instead of using the X paths, because they are high probability of changing. Any questions, Shruti? Okay. Okay, I'll stop here for today, because even Vasu is not there, so I don't want to continue too much. So tomorrow we'll have the rest of the session. Okay, Shruti, is it okay?
Thank you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.